With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride.
Hello, twinks and brunettes. Hello. Mary, it's past Christmas. As I'm recording this, it is before Christmas, but in real actual life, when you see this, it is after Christmas, which means that doesn't mean anything. Now, why is my rating the toxicity of my fave Sims 2 pairings tier list maker list in the Naruto category? Why are you in the Naruto category? Why is anything in the Naruto category? Are we human or are we dancer? Okay, so the video today is pretty self-explanatory, but just in case I need to make it abundantly clear, I pronounce my words like I'm chewing on a roll of toilet paper. If I need to make it abundantly clear what this is about, this is my very own favorite pairings in The Sims 2. Don't ask me where's so and this and that person and me. But yeah, don't ask me where your favorite pairing is or where a pairing you thought I would like is. If it's not in there, I don't like it. I may have even done it in the past and you may have gotten the impression that I like this pairing. It really does not mean that. I often have pairings happen in my game that are pretty random and that I don't care for. So let me go down my rankings that I've chosen. So the most toxic one is, of course, With the Taste of Your Lips. I'm on a ride. You're toxic. I'm what? What's shaking out? What does she say? I'm slipping under. She's going to Australia. Then the second is just ouchie. Oof. Youch. It's spicy. It's toxic. When it touches your skin, it's bad. And the middle tier is edgy for sure. Some people that were crazy back then. Then we have spicy vanilla. I think that explains itself. And then we have organic healthy for those that are not toxic at all. So I made these images last night at like midnight, and I had work today just to make that painfully clear. But yes, as you can see, I have on my second monitor right now next to me all of the beautiful pictures that I've made. It might be a bit confusing to look at because all the backgrounds are white, but like every little thing like that is a photo. It's like a pairing with a little plus sign in the middle. Isn't it cute? It's cute. And we start off pretty strong with the pairing of Dawn and Daniel. Dawn Lothario and Daniel Pleasant. Of course, you have to be a true enjoyer of the fine things in life to even like think of this pairing. Like I'm half kidding, but this pairing did not occur to me naturally. I had to be told by someone, hey, wouldn't it actually be kind of logical if they somehow, like if they had such inclinations that they might be interested in one another? And then I was like, you know what, it would. It would make sense. But in the context of the game, so I'm gonna judge, of course, the toxicity in the context of the game, not just like, would these two men in a partnership together in their like just natural state be toxic at all? No. But when you take in consideration the engagement to Cassandra, the marriage to Mary Sue, the fact that Daniel has kids, then it would imply cheating. Then it gets a little bit... But, like, is it any worse than Dawn cheating on Cassandra with anyone else? I don't think so. I think it's about the same amount of bad. So I think to open this thing up, I'm gonna start with edgy for sure. For sure. Then we have Dawn and Cassandra, and this one is toxic for another reason. This one is toxic because right before meeting Cassandra, getting into a relationship with her, getting engaged with her, bro tried to make out with her mom. I feel like people forget that sometimes. Like, people are so focused on having him leave Cassandra at the altar and like just not having the wedding happen just because Dawn is like a womanizer. But people very rarely bring up the fact that bro tried to make out with her mom. Like, what in the fucking MILF manner? And then he thinks it's just gonna be okay. And like, she's missing, she's disappeared, and nobody is like, Dawn, what would you happen to have anything to do with that? No. Everybody is chill with it for some reason. So I think for that reason, plus the cheating in general, Dawn and Cassandra have to be a tier above Dawn and Daniel. Though it's important to bring up that Cassandra doesn't cheat on anyone on her end of the bargain, but still I think it's a little bit worse. And you know, this one, Dawn and Cassandra, I do in every single Pleasant View, and I haven't done Dawn and Daniel outside of my random Pleasant View actually, but it's definitely something that I particularly like for sure. Then we have Lilith and Durk. Really nothing crazy here in the toxicity department. There is though the fact that Lilith herself is a little bit, she's spicy on her own. I think anyone that she would be matched up with, the relationship would be a little toxic whether they wanted it to be or not, just because she's involved. I don't think she's a bad person per se. I mean, she's very grouchy. She starts fights a lot. She's not easy to get along with. But is she toxic? I don't know. But just for the fact that she's a bit abrasive, I'm gonna put it in spicy vanilla. She's definitely vanilla. Then we have a recent favorite, which is Tank Grunt and Almeric Davis. Obviously Tank as a young adult and not as a teenager. I fell into the lap of this ship on Tumblr, as I do with most of the ships that I get into. If you don't have a I know people for a while thought that Tumblr was completely dead, and then they thought it was just not cool anymore to have one. If you're into The Sims 2, you want to be in the Sims 2 community in 2023, soon to be 2024, hell yeah, you need to be on Tumblr. I don't know how to explain this. You need to be on Tumblr. And you may think that Tank and Halmeric has been revealed to me in a dream, but no, it's been revealed to me on my Tumblr dashboard. And I don't think I can call this toxic at all. I think this is the best thing that could ever happen for Tank's life, and I'm going to put it in organic, healthy. Now, Dina and Mortimer. Do I ship this 20-year-old with an old man? Yes, I do, and I do twice, as you can see. Dina and Mortimer is a true classic, and it is awful. It's awful. She just got out of a relationship. You make it sound like she divorced him. Bro died. Like, Michael just died. And she goes right back and gets with another old man who's rich this time, who she can maybe, leech off a little bit. But is that ethical? Is that right? Is Mortimer fucking disgusting for letting it happen? Yes to all of the above. Do I like it still? Yes. I did not make it happen in my current Pleasant View, because he actually rejected her, which I thought was a sign of growing on his side, because weirdly enough, being 50 years older than her doesn't mean that he's more grown than she is. And honestly, just for the age difference, how wrong it is, how wrong the motives for the entire relationship are, I'm gonna put it in the top spot. I cannot not do it. And that also means I have to do the exact same thing with Dina and Michael. Keep in mind, Dina is a very fresh adult when you start a Pleasant View. And since there wasn't university when Pleasant View was made, she went straight from teenager to adult. And she remembers having her first kiss with Michael when she was a teenager. And I don't know if you can see, but he's an elder. And he's even dead from, I don't remember if it's from old age, but he's dead. He's a lot older than she is, and he kissed her when she was a teenager.
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
I don't think I need to explain myself more than this. Do I still like it? Yes. Now, Dina and Brandy. For some reason, I've never done it before, but I really do like it. And it's kind of the same situation as with Tank. I think this is the best thing that could happen for Dina. Is it the best thing that could happen for Brandy? I'm not so sure. I'm willing to give Dina the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if I should put this in spicy vanilla just given Dina's dating history, but I think for this purpose alone, she should be judged as a neutral character. You know, someone you're not meant to play as a gold digger, kind of, because you don't have to. So I'm gonna put in an organic health. Why do I always say organic? Now, Loki and Cersei, I don't think anyone in their right minds could say that this is healthy in any way. Though, do I think that they absolutely deserve each other and they should stay together forever? Of course. Nobody else deserves them, not because they are both perfect, but because they are both so fucking awful. To me, it's the type of relationship where I cannot dissociate one half of it from the other, because nobody is awful enough to get with either of them and like deserve to be in that situation. It's Brittany, bitch. Then Vidkund and Cersei is an interesting situation because yes, I did just say that I couldn't picture anyone else, not just picture, but I couldn't even conceive pregnancy. It doesn't compute in my mind to put Cersei or Loki with anyone that is not Cersei or Loki. But Vidkund and Cersei is a very interesting dynamic given their history. I would not make it happen in game, not even for a joke. Do I like the implications and am I intrigued? Yes. Is it bad for both of them? Yes. Vidkund has negative riz while Cersei has overflowing riz. Vidkund is nice and like, you know, wants to do science for good or like neutral things. Cersei wants to kill people. It's bad. Is it as bad as Cersei and Loki? I think Cersei and Loki's combined power makes it worse. This is youch. Pascal and Nervous. This is my only Pascal ship and it's my only Nervous ship because you cannot separate them. Not in my mind and not in a lot of people's minds. I think this is the one true way to play The Sims 2. It's organic. For Nervous, the point of his life should be healing from the trauma that was like put on him by Cersei and Loki. I don't think the goal should be to get into a relationship and let someone else heal him. But that's good because I don't think that's what Pascal would want to do either. I just think they're very good friends. They could be more easily. Nervous could heal alongside of Pascal and they would be holding hands. All right, now this is borderline a crack ship, but I just, I like to think of Cersei as the worst possible bi representation. And in my mind, Erin is a lesbian. I always play her as a lesbian. I don't always pair her with the same people, but I always pair her with women. And I just really like the idea of Cersei going like with her husband's sister. That's so wrong, but so right. But yes, it's very bad. Like, that's your sister-in-law. And you're evil. You're an evil doctor who wants to kill people. You put her in such an uncomfortable situation. It's bad. It's Brittany. Daiku show. I was completely flabbergasted, taken aback, completely bamboozled when someone in my Discord server asked me. I don't want to put them on blast, but it was so funny. They said, she say, Susan McSweeney. She say, who decided to make these two a thing? If it wasn't someone else, then it was me. It was me. I decided. It is the one true thing. It is the one. I'm the one. It is. I've been in my apartment alone for a week and I'm going a bit insane. But I don't know. To me, it's one of the most obvious things. Almost more obvious than Romeo and Juliet. Is that insane? It might be insane. Is it toxic though? I mean, yes. It does sound weird to be really tender and like loving with someone that you used to throw punches at daily. That is not healthy for sure. But is the dynamic once that's like, someone's coming to arrest me. Is the dynamic once that they went past that and like healed, talked it through, went from enemies to lovers. Is that toxic? So that is why I would probably put this at the halfway point. I don't think once they talked it through and they are actually together, it would be toxic or not very much. They might be messy, but toxic. I don't know. But when you take into consideration the past behavior, the Monty and the Cap feud and all of that, it's a little bit bad. I already complained a lot about Dawn trying to make out with Cassandra's mother, and then I go and I say I like Dawn and Bella together. I want a lawyer. So obviously this is bad. How many times am I gonna say this? Obviously this one, it's bad. I want to put it about the same as Donna and Cassandra. You know, you try to make out with a woman, she rejects you, then she disappears. What happened there? Dawn boy, what happened there? I'm sorry for the picture of AJ. I never cared about AJ much before people told me I was allowed to ship him with other people than the singles. I make myself sound like I have no agency on my own thoughts and feelings sometimes, and it can happen that I don't. Honestly. But I do get my mind blown by pretty obvious seeming things sometimes, and like someone showing me that it was possible to pair Laszlo with someone else than Crystal, because I fucking hate Laszlo and Crystal together. I cannot see it. That also wasn't just like Kristen or Aaron, because I think all of that is pretty boring, and that AJ was an option. My mind is open to so many new possibilities. The possibilities are endless, and I like this very much, and I do think it's pretty healthy if, of course, Laszlo breaks up with Crystal first. Then I don't see any issue with that, and I think it's pretty healthy. Then Lola with AJ. I know I just said I didn't like shipping AJ with any of the singles, but you know, Lola and AJ is classic. It's classic for a reason, because it's good to play, it's fun to play. They're both the same aspiration to get along pretty well. It's almost too vanilla. That means it's going into organic and healthy. Then we have Pollination Technician number 9 and Miss Jenny Smith. I cannot imagine pairing them up with anyone else, but unlike Cersei and Loki, it's only because they love each other so much and they're made for each other. There is the fact we do need to bring up the fact that Pollination Technician number 9 got Jenny's father pregnant with alien twins before Jenny was even born. I think that alone puts it into spicy vanilla. Then I have Olive Spectre and Ichabod Spectre. Ichabod is considered by many to be Olive's only true love, except for, of course, the Grim Reaper, which is coming next. I love these two together. I imagine Ichabod to be very supportive of his wife's hobbies, so it wouldn't be toxic in that sense, but we need to remember that Olive's hobbies are murder. So if I was keeping up with the trend of putting Cersei so high up only because she is so bloodthirsty, since half of this relationship has drawn to homicide, I think it's fair to put it in Youch. Then of course, Olive and the Grim Reaper. It's not actually possible to play this relationship in game because you will corrupt your game, since the Grim Reaper is technically an object and not a sim. But we cannot deny that Olive was boned by the Bone Lord and that she had a baby with him and that she loved him very, very much. I think that love is very pure and very beautiful and very strong, but the things it has led Olive to do are not very beautiful, to say the least. And you know, I think any love that evolves into you building a graveyard in your yard must not be very healthy. I think this is pretty bad. Now, when's the last time I've played the Citarada Belladonna Cove on what was for that Christmas video? What did I do in that Christmas video? I made Jason cheat on his wife with Jeff, who's her brother, because that is the only thing that you should do in that hood. Glory. Why is she naked? Is it healthy? Obviously not. It's a little bit better than Aaron and Cersei just because one of them is not a psychopath. So I'm gonna put it in Youch. Then we have Buck and Jill. I cannot put Buck and Jill with anyone that is not Buck or Jill. I only pair them with one another, and they are children, and I know you're gonna tell me, B, these are children. I know, but this is also The Sims. So we understand in our grown-up minds that these kids will grow up to teens and then to adults, and that you're meant to pair them up together and make them have babies so that, you know, the generations continue. So even though it sounds a bit weird to ship children together, it's not, you know, it's The Sims. There's the problem about Jill being half an alien, but is that Buck and Jill's fault? I don't think so. Though being with Buck might put Jill into some uncomfortable situations with the general. Do I put it into spicy just for that? It's kind of weird to call a couple of children spicy. Yeah, they're spicy. Fuck it. Then I have Hal and Bottom. again, 2 children. Her name is Bottom. Just for that, I want to put it into like it's really bad. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the toxicity of the thing itself. In Veronaville, matching a cap with a summer dream. Let's say it's not the most toxic thing you could do. So yeah, I think this would be pretty healthy and pretty easy also. Then I have Kristen and Crystal, which I prefer a lot to Laszlo and Crystal. If I'm going to pair Crystal with anyone, it's going to be Kristen. This doesn't seem like shocking to me. Like, I don't think there would be any drama or anything. So I'm going to put it into organic. Then I have Cassandra and Darren. I am not known to be a big fan of Brandy and Darren together. That much is very true. And once Cassandra, or if Cassandra is ever free of Dawn, I think Darren is always a nice option to have. But I also think that Darren's obsession with Cassandra might not be a great basis for a relationship. So just for that, I'll put it into spicy vanilla because I'm a bit scared for Cassandra. Then I have Cassandra and Mary Sue, obviously in the eventuality that both of them would be single, because I don't think they would have an affair with each other. They're both way too serious and like loyal for any of that. So keeping that in mind, I think I would put it into organic. And we're ending it all with some teenagers. So I have Ophelia and Johnny. And it all depends on so many factors. Like, does Ophelia keep the graveyard house? Is Johnny run out of town by the grunts? But like, does that have anything to do with the fact that you pair them together? Not really. I don't think they seem to have any like issue in game or have any toxicity towards one another. So I'm going to put them into organic. And then we have the infamous JRO, which is what I'm doing right now in my Mid-Stranger Night stream, and I particularly enjoy it and prefer it. Is a throuple inherently more toxic than just 2 people together? I wouldn't go that far, and I also don't want to put the whole like poly community against me by claiming something of the sort. I don't want to claim anything of the sort. I do not believe anything of the sort. Trust me. So yeah, I assume for that reason I should... Oh, there is the dynamic though that, you know, the general is Rip's father. And even though Rip doesn't really share the beliefs, it could put Johnny in danger being in such a relationship. Maybe for that reason I should put it into spicy. Not because there's 3 of them, but because there's a grunt and an alien in a relationship. Then we have, of course, the fabled, literally, Romeo and Juliet. How can you not pair Romeo and Juliet together? I mean, I did make them break up in my Veronaville, but is it really over? Because like, just because it's over doesn't mean it's really over. But like, it's bad, right? I mean, it's not bad because it's not their fault that it's bad. Let's put it like this. It's bad because she's a Cap and he's a Monty. It's bad because their grandpas hate each other. And that for some reason that makes it their problem. And it's not their problem. And we know very well that it's not their problem because none of the grandkids care about the feud. I mean, Tybalt wants to kick everyone's ass, but it's Tybalt. So you would have been born into any other family and it would have still been out there beating everyone's ass. But just because Romeo and Juliet never really had any animosity towards one another, I'm gonna put them 1 tier lower than Tybalt and Mercutio. I don't think it's as bad, but I don't think it's as genuine. And that's not what we're talking about right now. That's not what we're like discussing. But I don't actually think they love each other. It's like puppy love, teenage love. I don't think it's a real thing. I think they're putting themselves in danger unnecessarily. And this is getting way too deep for a Sims 2 dumbass video. Angela and Dustin, to me, I don't hate it as a pairing, obviously, since I included it in this. Do I love it though? No, I don't love it. I'll do it sometimes. I don't love it. I think the relationship is good for Dustin and bad for Angela. It's good for Dustin because Angela's a good-ish influence on him, and it's bad for Angela because Dustin is a bad influence on her. They don't exactly balance out. Angela is a nice girl from a wealthy-ish family, and Dustin is like the poorest kid in town and literal criminal. Would I go as far as to say it's in the middle? Yeah, why not? Why not? It's Friday night. Let's get wild. I'm probably not posting this on a Friday. Oh, I could. Let's post this on a 29th. Let's post this on a Friday. Why not? And then last but not least is Dustin and Durk. This is not actually something I've ever done in game for the very simple reason that the teenage lifespan is so short and they are both already in different relationships when the game starts. So it would be kind of hard to like break those relationships off and then get them into a whole new relationship with one another. Would it be that hard? No, but it'd be involved. Now, would it be toxic though? For the same reasons I said before, involving Dustin into a romantic relationship, given the like what he does for a living and how dangerous it is, inevitably would make it a little bit toxic. Is it as bad as with Angela? I don't think he'd have would he have as much of an influence, or like is Durk in a so much more privileged place over him? Like, is that a situation? I don't think so. I think Durk is also quite troubled, but that makes it kind of worse. Like, couldn't Dustin drag Durk even deeper than he could drag Angela? Because Durk has money troubles as well. Like, his family is not, his dad is not rich. So for that, I'm not sure. But like, this is all supposed maybes would happen. And like, I guess I did the same thing with Angela and Dustin, but nothing would assure us that it would be this way. It could be that Dustin would turn his whole life around. I don't know. I cannot know. All I know is the facts, and the facts is that he's a criminal and he's very poor. And I think he's prone to put himself in dangerous situations, perilous for sure. And I'm not sure if he wouldn't drag someone close to him in that, or if someone close to him wouldn't get dragged into those stories by, people that aren't exactly well-meaning. So I think I'm going to put it into edgy as well. Well, guys, this is my ranking. I did not include any pairings of like two Sims from different hoods together because I thought, first of all, there would be way too many. And also, that's not something you're technically able to do with the game, though you can if you make like your own custom hoods, obviously. But like, you're not supposed to have Sims from Pleasant View be able to meet Sims from Strangetown. We can now, but you're not like supposed to. It wasn't put in the game, but yeah, I don't know. It's easy. Like, there would have been cross hood pairings that I do like and I could have ranked also, but I think this video is already long enough. I'll just zoom up closer so you can see better. And on that note, I want to wish you a very happy new year if you're watching this before the new year. If you're watching this after the new year, unfortunately, I cannot do anything for you anymore. I love you and I care about you. Please follow me on all of my social medias. They will be linked down below, as well as my Ko-fi if that is something that could interest you, and the link to join my Discord server. Sleep tight, don't let the Bud Light bite. Tschüss!